You can turn your chalks into a beautiful medium that is similar to watercolor paint by using Chalk Enhancer. Chalk Enhancer is a special liquid that, when mixed with chalk pastels, creates a paint-like substance that bonds with the paper and creates beautiful smear-free color. Let me show you the tools and supplies that you're going to need to use Chalk Enhancer. First, you are going to need a bottle of the Chalk Enhancer, and when you buy Chalk Enhancer, it comes in a little kit. You get a bottle of Chalk Enhancer, you get these 2 little cups to pour it in, and then you get a few applicators, and these applicators kind of look like something that you'd use to put your eyeshadow on with. And these are great for using the Chalk Enhancer with pastels and to make a nice background, but for detailed work, I prefer to use a Niji water brush. You're also going to need a StazOn ink pad in black or any color that you want, but black really makes the image pop. You're going to need a rubber stamp, one that you can color in. You're going to want to use a good cardstock. You can use watercolor paper, but in this case, I'm using the Gina K Designs 120-pound heavy base weight white. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I'll be getting the paper kind of wet, and I don't want it to warp or pill, and with the 120-pound, it doesn't do that. Okay. You're also going to need some chalk pastels. In this case, I'm using the Pebbles Chalk Earth Tones, and I'm also going to use the pearlescent chalks in the shimmers. So to begin, go ahead and stamp your image with black StazOn ink. I prefer using the StazOn ink because I know when I'm using StazOn with any color, watercolor type medium, it's not going to run. Get a good image. The stamp that I'm using is from the Eclectic Summer Stamp Set from the new Stamp TV kit. And as you can see, I have a little wooden barrel of flowers. Now I'm going to take some of the Chalk Enhancer and I'm going to pour it into one of the cups. And the only reason why you might need more than 1 cup is if you're really varying your colors or you're planning on doing a lot of washes. But in this case, I really only need 1 of the cups, so I'll just move these other products out of the way. I'm going to start by using my earth tones, and I'm going to pick up some brown using my Niji water brush, dipping it into the Chalk Enhancer, and I'm painting that on. Can you see how that looks just like watercolor? It's so pretty. It's just a nice light image, very different from markers, and quite a bit different too from the colored pencil techniques that everybody's doing today. You just get a nice light shading. Now I'm going to dip my Niji water brush back in the Chalk Enhancer. I'm going to go with a little bit of a darker brown, and I'm going to add some darker brown to this side over here. Work that toward the lighter, just to give it a little bit of depth. Can add a little bit more. You just kind of have to play with this, just like you would with watercolors. Now I'm going to just rinse the brush. And you can see I do have some residue on the tip of my brush, and I have washed this with soap and water. I've even dipped it in bleach, but that little stain is left behind. That won't hurt any of your future projects, so don't worry about that. But if that bothers you, you may want to have 1 brush for your chalk pastels and then 1 for your other techniques. Okay, next I'm going to use some of the shimmers, pearlescent chalk shimmers in the blues. Now the shimmer chalks have a little bit of sparkle in them. I'm just going to color all over my flowers. And you can see it's just such a soft look. It's not real bright. And with these shimmers, it's just so pretty because it leaves that little bit of shimmer behind. You can mix colors to get different variations. And that'll give you some extra depth in there when you mix the colors together. Okay. And now I'm going to go back to my earth tones because I'm going to put a little bit of navy in the center of each one of my flowers. I'm going to pick up some of that navy blue and just do a little dot in the center because my base of my card is going to be navy, so I want to play off of that navy on the flowers a little bit. Missed one right there. Okay, and now I'm going to add a little bit of green to do my leaves. And if you want to get real fancy using the pastels, it's a great medium for highlighting around the outside. So let me kind of clean off my brush with the chalk enhancer. And one thing I'd like to do, though, is I'd like to add a little bit more of this dark brown and just kind of go in to the rim here, the little piece of wood going across. And what's nice about the chalk enhancer, if there's an area that you don't like, if it seems a little bit dark or there's a spot on it, you can just go back over it with the chalk enhancer and it just smooths it all up. And even if you go a little bit outside the lines, you can just clean it up and it'll clean up really easily. Now I'm going to add a little bit of gray just around the perimeter, so I'm going with the light gray. And I'm just going to highlight around the outside, just to make the image pop a little bit, kind of like I was watercoloring. Some people like to do this first and then go ahead and color inside their image after they've highlighted, and that's one way to do it. You certainly can do that. That would eliminate any bleed. But since I'm not going too close to the image, I'm just going to do it now afterwards. Oh, and I missed a leaf there. I'm going to go back and add a little green to that leaf. And see how if something just looks a little bit smeared, you can go back and add some more chalk enhancer just to soften it up a bit. That might be a little bit too dark there. There you go. Like that. And let me grab a little bit of green and fill in that last leaf. So there you can see I finished coloring it and it's ready to be part of a card. Now, let me grab my card sample. It's difficult to see on camera the shimmer that the Pebbles Shimmer chalks produce when mixed with the chalk enhancer, but in real life it produces a subtle shimmer. It's really pretty. Chalk enhancer is a great way to get lots more use out of your chalk pastels, and it works with most brands of chalks on the market today.